Everyone, welcome to Popcast on the Rocks, episode 207, where a podcast that talks about pop culture things that interest us. And sometimes there's whiskey. My name is John, and I'm joined as always by Andrea. Andrea, how's it going? On my screen, you look frozen, Andrea, all of a sudden, right as we're about to start. That's not a good sign. Um, I'm gonna go and hopefully see that she kind of comes back all of a sudden. If not, we'll have to do a technical difficulties. It has been a hot minute since we've had a popcast, uh, regular popcast on the Rocks episode. Wait, there's Andrea. All of a sudden, there's movement.
Yes,
That's
there's movement,
delivery.
there's life.
How's it going, Andrea? Oh Lord. We're just gonna have to guess what Andrea has to say. Andrea says things are pretty good. It's been a pretty busy day. Oh wait, am I? You're back.
I
We
don't know,
may have to
maybe.
just like give it one more a restart or something. If it happens one more time, we'll have to give it the show a restart.
Third time's
Andrea,
the opposite of a charm.
right? How's it going, Andrea?
Oh, it's been a heck of a week. One of my children just got her first non-surgery stitches. So, that's
Oh,
how well I'm doing.
hmm. Okay. Um,
Ugh,
not traumatizing, right?
totally not. Totally not. It's totally normal that, your child falls, crashes against the corner of a chair, and then you can see inside their mouth from the outside. It's totally fine. It's good.
What?
Yeah, like perfect hole in her face that, yeah, you
Wow.
could just like see the inside of her after all the bleeding. You can see
So
inside.
when did you get like Iron Maiden chairs
I
in your
know, right? Did I accidentally install an iron throne in my home?
right? Oh
Oh,
man.
man. Yeah, seriously though.
Well, well, fortunately, right, just a flesh wound. I mean,
Yes. Yes.
awful and like can't stop the bleeding and a pain and horrible, but not
Right.
an eyeball or something.
Right, right. I mean, obviously something that eventually can heal, and so
Hmm.
very grateful for that, but yeah, definitely not how I planned to spend my day, on Friday, just 2 short days ago, that feel like years, but yes.
Right. Okay. Well, I can't top that. Can't top it. So,
I
uh,
heard you say before though, you guys, like, lost power in some of the storms or something.
oh, yeah, we've had appliance issues and things.
Oh, okay.
For whatever
Gotcha.
reason, today or yesterday, we had just had the power blip for a second, and then it was getting really
Gotcha.
warm in the house, and I'm like, "Why is our AC not keeping up?"
Yeah.
And I ended up opening the windows last night, and it's like super muggy and whatever. So this morning, AC is still not working. It's not really putting out any air.
Hmm.
So I got to restart the whole thing, just as like any computer. It's all around my computers now and all the stuff. So I restart it all, and then it eventually works.
Okay.
And just sometimes those power interruptions can cause that sort of issue. So, but I
Gotcha.
was thinking, oh, great, we're gonna have another problem with this. And in my inspection of this, I found a giant wasp nest,
No.
outside the house. But
But
yeah,
no,
doused
but
that.
no. Nope. No, 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 no.
Probably got over a
If
dozen
there's
of them there.
something she doesn't do, it's wasps. Nope, nope, nope.
Yeah. My grandpa just used to leave the nests be. Just like, "Oh, they're not hurting
Really?
anybody." Mhm. I'm like, "We don't need them by doors and stuff and
Uh,
whatever, so don't
no.
need them
No,
around."
especially with, like, little kids running around, like,
Mhm.
that was always my thing. We used to have, like, 2 or 3 that would just chill right outside our deck door where our kids, like, run
Mhm.
outside.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Yep.
yeah, I mean, they're not hurting anything, but I just know the one time somebody's one of the kids is gonna run out, it's gonna freak out and just be like, "Ah, this thing is in my
Yeah.
territory, get it." And then there we go. We have tears and crying and stings.
Yep. Hmm.
So,
Yeah. And then we have our cooktop, a very nice cooktop. It's like been quitting on us. It's tripping the ground
mm,
faults on the same circuit and whatever. So it's you can't get it fixed, type of thing. So started pulling
hmm,
it apart and found some pieces that hopefully new parts will come on Tuesday. So we've been out without our cooktop for a few days, and so that
dang.
kind of stuff. But I will take all of that over bodily harm to my children. So
Mhm.
you win.
It took a lot. It took a lot to build up there, but yes, yeah.
Hmm.
It was a rough day.
Hmm.
God. I have, like, all the little sad pictures of her at the hospital. She's, like, charming all of the doctors and nurses and, getting them to, like, sing her songs and play Play-Doh with
Wow.
her and read her books and, you know, she was just, like, her little adorable self and, yeah, I was, like, holding it together mostly, but also, like, internally in pieces, just like, "Oh god,
Hmm.
why?"
Yep. Well, I'm sorry about that. She
Thank
gets well
you.
soon. Okay, so you started for one more second there. I'm gonna do finish kind of an opening here before we move on to our drinks, and then I think we should take a brief technical difficulties pause, hang up the call, come back, and we'll get into drinks. So, just as a last bit of housekeeping here,
Mhm.
um, we are live now on YouTube, X, Twitch, and Rumble. So you can find us any of those places. It's Popcast on the Rocks is the name of the main show. That's the channel to find. We're also on podcast directories. You'll find us there later, Spotify and stuff like that. So just make sure if you're watching live, hit the thumbs up, all that sort of thing. Subscribe. We appreciate it. And we will be right back and with hopefully a smoother stream.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, hello everybody. Welcome back. Let's give it another go. All right. So we kind of show introduction done, child injuries, trauma, all that sort of thing. You missed it. If you missed it, that's yeah.
Right, right. I feel it's
So
very in keeping with, what we're about to discuss. So,
yeah, yes.
we're just like
Okay.
setting up the relevancy.
Right. So tonight's show is going to be a little bit different. Trying this anyways until Andrea says she doesn't like it. We're going to
Mhm.
do just we're skipping the what else we've been doing part, kind of moving that to probably another episode or something, and we'll be talking about our drink holidays per usual, but then moving right into our main topic. Especially tonight, that makes sense because we have a lot to cover,
Yes,
and
we
I
do.
need to be refreshed on what exactly has happened in House of the Dragon because it
Mm.
feels like it's been a minute. Um, but before all that, I feel like you probably could use a drink to calm the nerves. What should we be drinking?
Well, there are many, many options. It's been kind of a long time since we've been on the regular pod, so there's quite the roster of days to start the month of August that I'll cover, even though we're halfway through, because I don't want y'all to miss out on anything, especially big days like the end of July, July 24th and 27th. It was
Ooh,
Tequila Day. It was National Scotch Day. Like, you can't miss out on the biggies, okay? If there was
sure.
something else, I might have been like, skippable, but no, those are big ones. So, and then moving into this month immediately, it's a double holiday to start off the final month of summer. It is Albarino Day and Mead Day. Fitting if you're watching this show along with us. And then keeping in a similar theme, August 4th was National White Wine Day. So if you're a wine drinker or a mead drinker, got a roster of a week right there for you. And then we will move on to something a little bit different. On August 6th, it was IPA Beer Day. And then on the 7th through the 9th, I kind of like this. I don't know that I've seen this before or not, or if they expanded it. But
Yeah.
there's 3 days called International Culture of Drink Days. And so you sort of are supposed to like make something new, unique, maybe you've wanted to try, haven't tried before, and then learn a little bit about the culture that, produced the drink that, you know, gave
Sure.
rise to this particular drink that mixed it up, if you will.
Hmm.
Closing that out, I think fittingly on August 9th, it was World Baiju Day. And then getting into this week and a little bit ahead, today, the actual day, August 16th, it is Rum Day. Another biggie, just like big, broad, here's an alcohol, do something with it.
Hmm.
And then I would be remiss if I didn't give this particular holiday a shout out because it's on Dana's birthday, August 18th. It is Pinot Noir Day.
All right. Did they pick the day when they found out when Dana was born and just like
Yeah,
came in?
right. We need to raise a glass and toast.
Mhm. Yeah. Well, are you celebrating some of these holidays? Any of these holidays?
I am not. I mean, not technically.
Okay.
Or I mean, well, I could if I guess I wanted to. So back and forth, I'm going to go on that. Um, so I am celebrating absolutely with a glass of champagne
Mm.
because there is a certain character death that happens in this series of episodes.
Wow.
I could not
Dark.
take the time to celebrate. And
How
you know what I
dare
mean. You didn't
Of
have to think
course,
too hard
I
about
do.
it.
No, I
Yep.
I knew exactly what you meant, yeah.
Yep.
Mhm.
So,
Okay, well, we'll
uh,
get into that.
yes. So I guess I could technically be celebrating a little bit, international culture of drink days, because champagne
Sure.
is technically only the wine that comes from a certain region in France. So,
Right. Okay.
think yes, what is it? It has Roman roots. It was many of the vineyards were first planted in the area by the conquering
Oh,
Romans in the area. So
okay. Cool.
there's
That's
your little fun facty
fun bit
fact
of
about
history.
Champagne.
Right. I should looked up a facty fact as well. I though I can say I'm celebrating the international culture of drink days. And I do think that that must be new. That doesn't sound familiar.
No, I
So
don't think so.
I'd showed this to you. I'd shown you this, I think, off stream or whatever. But this was a gift I got from
Yes, that's
Ashley. This is
right.
my Welsh gin. And I
Yes.
had definitely never had a Welsh spirit before, to my
Nope.
knowledge.
Nope.
And so it's this cool bottle. It's called, I don't know how to say it for sure, I guess, but it's called Signet 22
Yeah, that's how you
and
say it.
crafted Welsh gin. So yeah, it's distilled with Manuka honey. So that was part of the reason she picked it out for me. She's kind of into honey, and this is a good sort of honey that's supposed to have more health benefits.
Right.
So yeah, I'm gonna taste this by itself
The bottle
first.
is interesting.
I mean, I feel like I'm gonna let out a genie,
I
or something,
know.
when
I
I take
know.
this top off.
Is
Oh,
there any
I'll
sort
have
of
to take the top
story
off.
behind the bottle?
I don't know.
Ooh, good one.
Just look it up. Now I will say
Yeah,
this smells very gin. Like, it smells delicious, but I feel like I'm gonna have a lot of pine
sure.
going on. Am I getting that
Oh.
message really late? Alan says ready.
Oh, I think so,
Did I
yeah.
just get that late? I'm like, what's going on? I don't know what's going on tonight with their technical stuff. It's not enjoyable. Okay, let's see. Wow, I've never had a gin like that. That is for sure. Um,
What do you feel it tastes like?
that's a good question, but is not what I expected. Based on the smell, I was thinking it was going to be akin to a Bombay Sapphire.
Sure.
It just has that fruity, strong, you know, it's like junipers everywhere kind of thing. But tasting it, I don't know. Um, my mind wants to say honey because I know it's in there, so I can't say that
Sure.
that's
Little
accurate.
bias.
Yeah, but I'm excited to let you try it because
Okay.
both you and Alan, we can have G and T's or something like that because never tasted anything like it.
Mhm.
Between this and then like the James May gins I've had recently, we've talked about how much gin varies and deceptive. So yeah, anyways, I have that and I put it in this cocktail.
Ooh, that
So
looks delightful.
this is muddled strawberry, or sorry, muddled watermelon, grapes, the gin, and club soda.
Mhm.
So I don't know how to say cheers in Welsh. Uh, so just salute.
Cheers.
Very refreshing summer cocktail there. Okay. All right. Drinks in hand, on with the show. Um, House of the Dragon. House of the Dragon season 3.
Yeah.
So do you want to let's see. Where did we leave off? When we last were talking about this, I thought Rhaenyra got some really like bad news. It was not where she found out that the kid was not actually him, was it?
I think so.
Was it? I no, it wasn't it where all the gold cloaks were killed. Was that where we ended? Or is that
Yeah, but
in there?
she had I mean, no, because that was part of these episodes.
Okay.
Because that was finding out that, I mean, spoiler, spoiler right away, that Ormond was behind a bunch of that.
Yes. Hmm. Okay. Well, we're starting really on season 3, episode 4, and bringing it through to the finale.
Mhm.
So basically, this half of the season here has been a lot of the mess that Ormond has managed to cause from Tumbleton for Rhaenyra, um, at the
Mhm.
Capitol.
Mhm.
And Rhaenyra having to decide, like Allison told her, you're going to make choices and do things that you don't want to do, and you're going to become someone else, and all this sort of thing. Where it's the progress of seeing that. Um, and so we see Ormond's master plans here. He's capturing, um, what's his name, the sea snake,
Yep,
and
Corliss.
he gets himself another dragon by making an alliance with Ulf, and
Yeah.
and how he's going to hide behind the citizens of Tumbleton,
Mhm.
figuring that Rhaenyra won't set her people against her by burning the whole place down.
Yep.
So that's sort of our overviewing what has happened and been the core theme of this second half of the season here.
Mhm. Yeah,
What
that's
did
I
I,
mean,
anything
big.
else I need to really add that is super missed that's critical to the?
No, I mean, I think everything falls in under the big banner of all of that, you know?
Okay. Yep. Um, what would you think about this? So just started that large scale sweeping thing. How are you? I mean, I think we're pretty high on the first half of the season.
Mhm.
Um, Pretty happy with how things are going. Both of us having not been book readers, though I
Yes.
have since purchased the book. I do have it now. So intending to read it. But the second half of the season, how do you think it followed through? And you like the plots and schemes and the twists and turns?
I I'm having a hard time with it. There have been some really interesting moments and some really, fraught, tense ones, some unexpected plot twists, but there have been some inconsistencies or some things that I feel, you know, I'm frustrated that we don't seem to have any breaks in some of our action points, in some of our betrayals, and some of our things aren't going right, for the group that we've chosen to root for. And it's a little bit difficult. Like
Mhm.
sometimes you do want good things for your characters. And it feels like there's not a lot of that going around, and it's been really rough this second half of the season, I think.
Okay. Interesting. Okay. So you feel like it's just been an onslaught and maybe more pacing issues that we don't have a
Yeah.
chance to. I mean, but isn't that what Rhaenyra is supposed to feel? Right? It's
Yes.
nonstop for her. She's achieved this goal. She has moments where she's like, what was this even for? Why do I have, so she has to convince herself that she's there for a higher purpose, that she's there because she's destined to be there. And just ending up because she's had to go through the motions now. And it's just not a
Mhm.
simple thing. She's like, I should be here. And it's a disaster. We don't have any
Mhm.
money. We've got traitors within the walls. Our citizens don't. My subjects don't like me anymore. You know,
Mhm.
just one thing after another. The rats are everywhere. Now the gold cloaks are dying. We've got a town I can't burn down. I have a husband that's, uh, lied to me about who was riding sheep killer,
Yeah.
sheep stealer.
Yeah. Yeah, and, like, some of those things I totally get and I'm on board with because they do serve to test Rhaenyra, and they do serve to, like, create problems for us and tension for us as the viewers, but sometimes I'm like, I had talked about earlier where I enjoyed some of the battling between Alicent and Rhaenyra because it's a lot of it based on a misunderstanding. A lot of it is like, oh, if only somebody had come in one moment sooner. If somebody had just stopped this or, been here instead of here. So there was a lot of just like missed opportunity that kept like snowballing and creating this wider and wider rift in their friendship. And I really felt as a viewer, drawn in by that.
Hmm.
Whereas some of it here feels a little like, really? Take Sheep Stealer. Rhaenyra's mad because she thinks, whoever rode Sheep Stealer caused Jace's death, which kind of feels a little like stretchy since like the triarchy, like were they not
Well,
there?
yes,
You
but
know what I mean?
I
You
mean,
know what I mean though? Like, but she's solely
for
focused
not.
on this like one thing. And I'm like, but okay. So maybe she needs to fixate on something because the sorry, I keep doing that. Triarchy has been vanquished. And there's this unknown enemy that contributed to Jace's death, and you're going to fixate on that. Okay. But then in this series of episodes that we've just watched, we get the final confrontation. We get the, oh my God, it was Reyna riding Sheep Stealer. And instead of being like, but you're Reyna, you're Damon's child. What happened? They're just like, yeah, like kill her anyway, kill Sheep Stealer. Um, and nobody takes 5 seconds to be like, what what was that? And Reyna doesn't take 5 seconds to be like, I didn't mean to kill Jace. Sheep Stealer was wild. I made a big mistake. I was full of pride, thinking I could swoop in and save the day on an untrained dragon. Totally effed it all up. So sorry.
Well, she says something to that effect at some point. Maybe it's to Damon or something like that,
Yes, but she
but
should just repeat that to Rhaenyra.
yeah, I know.
Then at
Yeah.
least the truth would be out there, and instead of, being like, "Oh, I killed Jace, like, I'm super
Mhm.
responsible." It's like, not really, kinda, sorta.
I'm
You
blaming her. I'm
you
blaming her.
contributed right, like, but, like, she didn't set out, she wasn't like
No,
you know what I mean?
it was
Right.
manslaughter, it wasn't murder.
Right? It wasn't murder. So, I mean, take 5
Yeah,
minutes to say
nah.
that just so Rhaenyra can be like, "Okay, I need to deal with this complicated situation like the, complicated situation it is instead of just bulldozing in, getting her own dragon hurt,
Mhm. Yeah,
hurting
that
other
was
dragon." Like,
definitely was worried
ugh.
about everybody's dragons. I'm like, "Oh
I
my
was
god, wait for
very
this now to
worried.
be the thing to, like, lose another dragon."
Yes. Yes, and,
Ooh.
like, for the queen to lose her dragon over this stuff,
Mhm.
girl, you got more important things to worry about, and you have more important battles for Syrax. It's not this.
Yeah, I definitely put in my notes somewhere that I'm kinda done with this girl. Like, she really messed up, and then she's trying begging to she leaves her post. She goes against what again, it's part of me maybe is like, maybe this is how it was, and part of me is maybe this is writers coming from a modern framework
Mhm.
of how it would be to be a youth in that time. But it's like, this would be very normal that,
Sorry, that
we
was
even said this.
adorable. A youth.
Yeah.
That was such
It's
old-timey speak.
it's
Look at
even
all the
like
youths.
it's even from
Sorry.
season 1, like, Rhaenyra just, like, with the responsibilities. It's I get, I'm sure kids, rebellious phase, all this stuff, but it's just I have to imagine there was an order and a discipline, and, like, these are the things you did. You got sent away. You made alliances, you with marriages. Like this is your you don't have to live in the feces and the whatever of the street and die of some horrible disease and what you get to live in a palace. And yes, you have to deal with moving to different places and whatever. Being around some people maybe you don't like. And so I just feel like maybe the rebellion is not quite so realistic that we are showcased here, but maybe that's a Targaryen thing we're doing, or
Sure.
whatever. But anyway, she leaves her post, she runs away, she gets all crazy and messes things up, kills a family member, then comes back and is told, "Shoo, I don't want to see you." She won't stay away. Her father finds her and she's like, "Please just do this one thing for me." So now he's split between doing one thing, knowing he's guilty and not doing some enough for his daughter, and like not betraying his wife and the
Mhm.
queen. And so then, okay, fine, go. I'll make up a whole thing. You're good. And then she comes back again. I'm just like, I'm done
Yeah.
with you. I am
Yeah.
done with this child. And I don't care
Yeah.
what happens to you, you know?
Yeah, that's the thing, like, the first, like, 75% of what you said made for a really interesting story, because, yes, I was frustrated at Reyna, for leaving her post and leaving, like, her charge. She was supposed to guard these kids, and that was the deal, but I understood that she'd always yearned to prove herself and prove herself specifically by being a dragon rider, and so the lure was there, like, the chance for glory. She's a kid. They think things work out, like Jace going to the gullet, just thought it would work out. So I get it. Like, I was mad, but I got where she was coming from. I'm going to swoop in. I'm going to be so heroic. Everyone's going to finally see me, and my true potential, and maybe Damon is gonna finally be my dad again and love me, and all these crazy mixed up things. That's like teenage logic. Fine, I get it. And then she, like you said, she comes in, she messes up royally. Nothing went how she thought it was going to go. And so I loved that Damon had to come in, find her, be torn about, am I going to turn in my daughter, or am I going to, make this lie of omission to Rhaenyra? That's like character stakes. That's tension. That's great. Damon always needs these kinds of things. Like, he could definitely get to one note if you just let him be like, I love war, conquering. So, even though I love those parts, this is like, the human connection side of Damon. So that was all very interesting. But then yes, now you have her coming back again and being like, I couldn't be alone and cut off from everybody I loved. And
Mhm,
it's like, you asked for that. You
mhm.
wanted it. You said. Oh God. And then yeah, just coming in and not explaining anything, but just staying quiet for once and
Yes.
being like, "Oh no, sheep stealer. They're killing my
Yeah.
dragon, who I kind of am annoyed by."
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That yeah. I was
Mhm.
mad about that. It felt like this storyline that had potential and then just got, I don't know, snarled up into a ball of, these very easy, I don't know, easy way out kind of things where people weren't talking to each other. And it was just like, come on, you could fix this misunderstanding with a couple of words.
Okay. Okay. Well, something that someone that could not be fixed with words, Cole Kristen. You know, this despite
Celebrating.
what's his name? Galen Hightower?
Wayne?
Gwaine, yes, thank you. Gwaine Hightower doing his best to
Mhm.
say like, Gwaine is an interesting character. I like Gwaine.
Yeah,
He is
I
one of
do
those
too.
that's like he's not this unrealistic, brave, noble sort of guy or whatever. Like he absolutely does his duty and he's in
Mhm,
all kinds of battles and right there and he's proved his skill and value, but he's also
mhm.
I feel like a realist.
Yeah.
and he is one of those that's just not I'm not ready. I don't want to run out there and needlessly die in battle. That's not glory to me. That's not what I'm
Yep.
aiming for in life. And it gets him looked at as a coward sometimes. But again, I think he's a realist, and he's also aware of his capabilities and
Mhm.
where he stands or whatever. But anyways, he's tried his best to convince Cole that our energy could be used elsewhere. This is not a winning fight, and therefore, you know, let's let's pack it in
Mhm.
and head back, maybe to Templeton
Mhm.
here, see what my brother's plan is, and then he realizes that Cole just is out here to die.
Yeah.
He does this little speech of, you offer me service to your family. I've served families forever. That's what I have done. I don't want to. I'm not anymore doing my own thing. And
Mhm.
uh, I mean, if you're looking for sympathy, Cole, you don't have it from me. But yeah,
Yeah.
he has his last
Yeah,
stand.
that was that speech was like a one moment where, I sort of tiptoed towards maybe like some half measure of respect where I was like, I get it. You don't want to be a servant anymore. You feel you've been
Mhm.
used and that's not the life for you anymore. So cool. Like, and then he was like, I am the realm's greatest warrior. And I was like, oh, so
Really?
close. So close, buddy. You had me and you lost me big time. Yeah.
Yeah. So he has
Um,
a few people that stay with him yet, and
yeah. After the world's worst, like rousing speech,
yeah.
Kristen
Mhm,
Cole did not have a voice or a temper for great speeches or inspiring speeches. That was one more thing to add to his list of lameness. I was not particularly impressed by that like closing monologue where he's trying to, inspire everybody to go in battle. I mean, I guess his men were. That's fine. I would not have followed.
mhm. Yeah. Um, so yeah, I y I thought his death was good, like, it was well done, I also will say, like, he did have a really cool combat moment, like, he had
He
some
did.
good like, he has, like, flail morning star kind of thing or
Yep.
whatever, and I don't know that I've seen better choreographed combat with one of those before,
They're
so I thought that
difficult.
was really cool.
Mhm.
They had sort of a interesting setup. I swear I saw someone breathe that was laying there pretending to be dead.
Okay.
And so I didn't go back and rewatch if that was the case, but I thought it was just a mistake until they all jumped up.
Yeah.
And
That was a good trap.
mhm. I mean, everybody better be pretty still, let them get in there. But yeah,
Yeah, I mean, they definitely they committed to the bit. I mean, there were definitely soldiers marching over and on people, like on hands and stuff, and it was just like,
mm,
"Ooh, good job, y'all."
yep,
Yeah, that was very satisfying. The whole sequence was just so enjoyable. Kristen getting trapped worse than John at the Battle of the Bastards.
yeah,
And, just
it's an
just having a
arrow.
little yep, having a little verbal sparring, and then, yeah, I said, Cole was so arrogant until they Boromired him, which feels like an insult to Boromir, who was an absolute king at the end, and Cole was
Hmm.
not.
Yeah,
But,
what could he have done to redeem himself?
I mean, like, died a long time ago. There wasn't
uh,
anything he wasn't coming back. He'd lost so much respect, I think, from all audiences. There was just nothing he could have done
mhm.
at that point.
I wrote down this line. You had to tell me if remember who said it, because I sadly don't. I thought it
Mm,
was funny. So their greatest battle has been with indigestion.
I got it. Yep, I wrote it down too. It was Damon when he was sitting at the High Council and he was like, "I'm not
Oh
taking advice.
yes.
I'm not taking advice from people whose greatest battle has been with their own indigestion." And then he threw a wine cup at him. Love it.
So
Yep.
good. Mhm.
Yep, yep. Yeah, there were definitely some good lines. Mostly I think from Damon and the warlord in the north. They said his
Mm,
name this last episode and I've already forgotten it because I just keep thinking of him as Chibs from Sons of Anarchy. Um, but yeah, they had some good lines and Damon did not disappoint in that scenario.
mhm,
Um, to an earlier point that you made, I think I
mhm,
also really like the character of Gwen Hightower, even though,
mm,
Hightowers in general, meh.
sure.
And I don't think it's a coincidence that his name is after one of the Knights of the Round Table from the time of Sir Arthur.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying?
okay,
Like I mean, that knight's name was Gawain instead of Gwaine, but I don't think that that's a coincidence.
okay, interesting. So you think I mean, I'm really curious how this is all gonna play out. You think he kind of, you know do we dare think that he actually does succeed in helping the ward here, Daron, rise up and achieve some sort of
Yeah, I
mm,
don't know. I don't know. I think, it's possible. We definitely leave this season very uncertain of where anything is going.
yeah,
Um, we kind of leave the end of this season as a big mess. Um, but yeah, just throughout the season, I felt like Gwen was, like you said, a guy trying to be honorable, trying to be chivalrous, trying to be like a true knight. And that's often how Gawain is described in the tales of King Arthur. So I just felt like that there could be some parallels we're drawing here. And he is going to be like, we need to rein all of this bloodshed and chaos in, stop, all of this kind of trickery that my brother is doing, this like nasty stuff back and forth, sending out sacrifices, forgetting about the people. Um, yeah, there's some possibility there that he leads or helps someone lead out of a darker time into a more chivalrous one.
okay, yeah. Well, that'd be interesting if there's any of that bears fruit there. Um,
Mhm.
I like the character. I like the relationship he does have with Daron, and
Darren's smart,
yeah,
mostly.
he's Link. Hey, yeah, yeah, Link. He's gonna be Link in the new Zelda movie. So,
Yes, I saw that. I see that. Like, I can
yeah,
see it. He's got the look.
yeah,
Yeah, he's a smart kid. I mean, obviously, he's been raised by Ormond, who is psycho. And at least Darren knows that, but
he's aware of it. Yeah.
he's very aware of it, which, I was very grateful for. I was like, "Oh, thank God he's not just like following this freak
Hmm.
show." Um, but also I worry that he's been raised by this guy for so long that there's going to be some sort of imprint. There's some inescapable, you
That's
know.
why Gain's important.
Yes,
That's what.
that's why he's important. He's clearly like, the other half, um, and keeping Darren like grounded in reality. But yeah,
Mhm.
I do worry that, there's still effects of being raised by such a sociopath as
Sure.
Ormond.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, we can talk about Ormond then. He's the guy that he's puts on a good face for a lot of people. He had we had the whole situation where what's his name, whoever the white, his wife.
Wolf. Oh
It
no,
was
that's Hugh Hammer.
Hugh Hammer, yeah. So he went and his guy's wife in Tumbleton, and their family is assaulted and everything, and so he's brought in front of Ormond, and he plays the just
Mhm.
guy, but then behind the scenes, it makes maybe more just to control Darren and make sure that he's going to do what he says to do, makes him kill the um, complainee, the father of the
Mhm.
family there. Um, so kind of a big piece of trash. I mean, you just think he's just always had his eye on. At first it's like, what is his aim here? He just like for his
Mhm.
family or something. He just
Yeah.
feels wronged, and then is it? Well, then it's just he's always had his eye, and he sees the opportunity now
Mhm.
to seize it. He sees the bloodline that he can use in Darren, and I don't know, opportunist.
Yeah. Yeah, I do. I mean, I think that he's always had like delusions of grandeur and he's always believed himself better than other people. And now he's like, maybe I can prove it. Maybe I can prove that, all of this like belief I have in the old bloodlines and, some people are just born better than others. I can like embrace that fully and actually put action to those beliefs and make my special bloodline ruler of the seven kingdoms. I mean, he says it's for Darren, but like everybody around him, including Darren, sees like it's you. You want to be king.
Yeah, but what about
It's clear that he would be a puppet. Like Darren would be
right,
Ormond's puppet, and Ormond would really be ruling.
right? But then what about legacy? Like he's got to have a kid. He's got to have a daughter or something to marry to the king, and like
Yeah,
continue on the
I
bloodline
feel
like
like
that.
Ormond would find ways around that kind of stuff, you know what I mean? Like, eventually, I feel like he's the kind of guy who would get to a point where he's like, you know what? Everything's like totally secure. I could probably kill off Darren and just be king.
Rule in his stead until
Yeah,
my kid is like, but I don't
exactly.
something because he doesn't. That's the thing. He's raising up Darren this way, but he hates Targaryens. He's like
Yes,
telling him how your blood is,
impure.
yeah. And so does
Yeah,
he really want to have that even mixed with his,
he
you
would
know?
not. He would not. I feel
So
like there's a whole scheme behind all of that to just like raise him up, use him as like a bridge for his own legitimacy on the throne, and then be like, oh no, he died while I was still the guardian. So I guess I'm king now because there's no one else and Targaryens are awful.
he is a fun like D&D character. Just like you always have to write down your personality traits and like flaws.
He's a
It's
lot of
like
quirks.
yeah, he can't stand smells. He's got to vomit to smell. So you have to like roll your constitution roll during combat to see if the blood makes you vomit, and then you roll your
Hmm.
attack with disadvantage. You could do all kind. That sounds fun. So uh, he's an interesting character, and
Yes.
getting to figure out his motivations a little bit more and see his scheming. I liked it. It was an unexpected wrench in this whole deal, and one that I welcomed. Except for, I think I I was expecting more from. There was an episode I think titled "Faceless Men." I'm like, well,
Mm-hmm.
we got to be incorporating the faceless
Oh
men.
yeah. Hmm.
Right? So I thought for sure that, like, Ormond had hired men from Bravos to be the ones killing, and maybe that is still the case. Maybe it is, but they really gave us no indication of that other than how elusive they were
Right.
and how effectively they managed to kill
The gold cloaks.
several cold cloaks, the
Yeah.
highly trained whatever.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I wish that had been like a stronger element. I really couldn't figure out how Ormond would be orchestrating that. You know
yeah.
what I mean? Like he's just so not he's sort of smart, but he's like a lot of flash kind of
Hmm.
smart and not always a substancy kind of smart. And he had like lots of grand plans that you were like that's really lame. And some pieces that did work. Like I don't want to say that he didn't have some smarts about this, but you could tell like his pride got in the way sometimes and he would have like I don't know, pieces on the board that you were like, "That's pretty lame."
I mean, I
Like,
don't.
I'm cutting out again.
Oh, not on my end.
Oh, okay, good. All right. Your face is frozen on mine, but whatever. I'm gonna charge ahead. I did not feel like Corliss Valarian was a good strategy.
Mm,
You know what I
it's
mean?
just
Like, that was
one
a
more
pretty
thing.
lame piece on the board.
I mean, he may not know. Well, I don't know. I mean, he's an important figure that Rainier
He
has kind of treated disrespectfully now.
I
But
I agree. I'm just saying he was like, "Well, you think Valarian men will, like, do anything without their leader?" And it's like, "Yeah."
hmm,
I don't
sure.
know. It was just sort of a lame, like, thought process. I would actually understand more if he was like, "I have a hostage now. Maybe she'll care about getting Corliss or, whatever." But yeah, it was a lame piece on the board. And I mean, everyone knew it. Gwaine and Darren were both like, "Is this his like special thing? Because it sucks."
Mm, yeah, it wasn't a special thing.
It
It
wasn't his
was a
special thing.
one
His
more
actual
thing.
his actual special thing was good, until he also decided to do the very thing that he was like, "Don't you hate Damon and Rhaenyra because Damon, like, hit you across the face once? Let me just beat the absolute crap out of you so you'll
Can
like me
you
better."
can you blame him though? I mean, I could not believe that's another character I'm done with. Ulf, get out of here. Like this is interesting, obviously interesting, chaotic element here, but I'm just like, wow, you have this extra opportunity. This guy, you're too stupid to understand that he's just like placating you here because you have a dragon
Mhm.
telling you what you want to hear. But
Mhm.
you're going to go this way. You're being offered a lot of stuff. You do have power. Just don't get hammered the night before the battle. Like to the point, like it's incredible. I don't think it's unbelievable for the character we've been given, but it is incredible. And I don't blame Ormond
Mhm.
for just like, because that's his plan hinges on this. You know,
Yeah.
it's, he's outgunned without the dragon.
Yeah, I didn't blame Ormond's like reaction in terms of you're the thing, why didn't you do the thing that I needed you to do?
Mhm.
I just blamed his savage beating. It's like you're not giving him a better alternative if you're actually a worse alternative. Like you're not.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Like, what is like the old saying, you attract more flies with honey than vinegar or something like that. It's like
Mm.
you were on the right track. You promised him glory, you promised him, an actual lordship. You were going to rule in by this new king's side. It was all going really well. He made one mistake and you just like lost your mind. And really he lost his mind because Ulf was smelly.
Well, that's to be expected.
I mean, right?
But isn't it? Isn't
Yes,
it?
he was an idiot and he needed to be there for the plan, but, like, really, Ormond lost his total ever-loving mind because Ulf smelled.
You know, would have been better off to just kill Ulf and be like, "Hmm, there's one dragon without a rider. For this battle, that's a
Yeah.
now a free dragon. You know, run away."
Silverwing deserves better, justice for Silverwing.
I really was hoping that he would turn a corner, rise to the occasion. No, nope, it's not happening. And I don't want it to happen now. It's too late. It's too late. So I think, yeah. What do you, yeah, it's pretty agonizing, that
Hmm.
character. What, if you have anything else to say about that, go ahead. But what other is the other dragon rider here? You said the hammer. What do you think of his situation? He's got his wife in Tumbleton. He's trying to get her out. She's like You weren't here. I needed you here. I did this for you. I didn't need that. What do you think? Oh, you're frozen. I don't know if I'm frozen on your end, but I'll say what I think about that for now, I guess. I mean, it was a tough situation. I remember I wrote my notes somewhere. I think that it was, if I remember, back in King's Landing, they were in a tough spot. And I remember she didn't want him to go, but he did feel like there wasn't much else of a choice in this. But I mean, in the end, it turned out there was a choice. She did make it someplace else. She did move on and had been getting by in Tumbleton with the rest of her family. So it looks like it was an option. But at the same time, it's like, how do you turn down if you are possibly an acceptable candidate for being a dragon rider? That's a hard thing to say no. So I don't know. I feel bad for the pair of them ultimately in that situation. Andrea looks like she's maybe back. You went from one stern
Ah,
face to another.
I know. I
There you
know.
are.
It's my look tonight. I'm patching myself in on my hotspot. We'll see how long I last. 'Cause my
Okay,
internet's been patchy.
sure. All right. Well, that's good. Good idea. Yeah, I was just asking what you thought of what's his name, the Hammer, and his
Hugh,
wife, Hugh, and that situation.
it's not good, man. He This also feels like another opportunity for everybody to be right about commoners riding dragons because I feel like Hugh's going to turn on
Mm.
Rhaenyra. You know what I mean? And
Oh.
they're just going to be like, I feel like they're going to be like, oh, it's because commoners really shouldn't be riding dragons instead of the other, million things that were going on. I mean, Ulf, crappy guy. Like I've always been upset that Ulf got a dragon, and I don't understand Silverwing's choice. If we missed
Right.
it earlier, justice for Silverwing. She needs a
Right.
better rider.
Hmm.
Um, but I mean, Hugh, I liked, and I was on board with him. He seemed like a decent guy, ready to rise up and be like, oh my god, I've been chosen into this great thing. I want to live up to the legacy, live up to the Targaryen name. I have standards, morals, a family to take care of. I've got some like very grounding things. And now that he's lost that, I feel like he's going to blame Rhaenyra and
Mm.
turn against her.
Okay.
And it's going to be like a boy, this experiment really ended badly. And it's going to like reflect on that rather than people's individual choices. So,
Sure. Yeah, I think that's all fair. I Yeah, I mean, getting a dragon so quickly and then having to go to war so quickly, at least it seems with the way they
mhm.
pace that out, seems, and I was saying like, you know, I sympathize with both of them because I remember them being in a really rough spot. And so he
Yeah.
thought this was a way out, but she's like, no, let's stick together no matter what, sort of thing. And it would be hard to turn down the opportunity if you like really maybe could ride a dragon, like that really could improve your station in life, even though
Yeah.
Ulf doesn't see it now. Like he has no sense of the responsibility, that's just like, well, look, I should have a dragon and I should be bathed in gold and do whatever, get to do whatever I want now and stuff. And so, but I don't know. It's just it's pretty sad for the pair of them. So,
Mhm.
um, but
It's
Damon tried not to burn the whole place down. Kind
Yeah,
of,
he really did.
you know, kind of wasn't
Yeah,
really his fault.
and also I love how, like, all the Hightower hosts are the ones sending children, literal children, out to be their human shields. And then the, Hightower soldier comes upon Damon and he's like, "You child murderer." And it's like, "What?"
Yeah,
I don't think so,
yeah,
buddy.
Yeah, that was a well done, like, if we recall, Damon's done some hard things and some not good
Yep.
things, but he definitely was like, "Get the F out of the way, kids. Get
Right?
out,"
Like, save the
like, "You're
children.
not being held right there by anyone, move." Um, so
Yep.
he's he's he does have a heart in there, and, things didn't go as to plan, as you expect when you have dragons and idiots, but, yeah, I don't know. I think that how much do you think Ashley's been on board with this for quite a while, that Damon's right? If we just listen to Damon, you'd be in a better spot. Because how much is it, like they had he had this conversation with Rhaenyra earlier where it's like she's trying to rule the way her father would want. She's trying to
Mhm.
respect that. And Damon's like, you have like 6 dragons. You don't have to ask for anything. You rule. Like you've
Mhm.
won, but you have to take it. Do
Mhm.
it. You need
Mhm.
gold? Take the gold. You have enemies? Burn your enemies. Like you're sitting here frantic, crying, worry, trying to do this the polite way, get it done because we can. And to his credit, he's been pretty patient with all that.
Mhm.
And in this day and age, in the world in which we're seeing this conflict occur, I don't know that I feel that he's wrong in just like settling everyone the fuck down. Like
Yeah.
just laying down the hammer. This is what's happening. We're in charge. And then it's sort of settled. Now you could have pockets of uprising and people start talking, whatever, but like the major threats are all quelled. And then it's up to you to try to make things generally good for your subjects.
Mhm.
But you can't do any of that until you are actually ruling in the position of power and your major threats are eliminated.
Mhm.
Until then, you're just prolonging the suffering of everyone.
Mhm.
You could if he would have done what if she would have done what Damon said and called Ormond's bluff, you wouldn't have dragons attack Tumbleton. So it'd be over. We would have been over many episodes ago. He
Yes.
has he has nothing. He's relying only on the fact that she'd have a soft heart.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, I I mostly agree with you and Ashley by extension. um I felt it was complicated a little bit, especially in the last pair of episodes where Helena is coming after Rhaenyra and she's like, "You strayed from the path that your father set out. Like you're nothing like Viserys, and he was awesome. Our father would be ashamed of you." And Rhaenyra was like, "Okay, but he left me this mess. He didn't do anything to prevent all of this suffering either." So, I mean, I get that Rhaenyra feels like caught between you know, the aspirations her father had for her and like his style of rule, which worked for him. Mostly, I think because he got lucky. Um, because he wasn't a particularly strong leader all the time, but he got very lucky that he rolled over a time of relative peace and acceptance of, his ascension to power at King's Landing, and everybody was ready to be like in a peaceful time because he came
Mhm,
out of war obviously, but he wasn't
mhm,
really in it. And
right.
everybody was just like eager to settle down and rebuild. So I think
Yep.
he got really lucky ruling over this like really great time. And
Well,
then
he
so
could have not been that person though. He could have not accepted that peace, and he chose to. He could have done been more Damon at that time and like not
yes,
settled
yes,
for it and gone,
yes.
you know. So
But like it worked, like his choice to be more peaceful worked out.
was an option. It was an option for him, and he chose
Yes,
the
yes.
option. Yeah.
And it worked out because nobody really like rose up all that bad. I mean, the
Mhm.
Triarchy did, but they were already gonna be, like, a problem and a thorn in the side of the 7 kingdoms anyway, so it's not like I have, this longtime ally over here who's,
Yeah.
stirring shit up. So I think combination. He made some good choices, and it was also like good timing for his style of rule.
Mhm.
So Rhaenyra's caught between that and Helena being like, "You should be like your father," and I'm sure other people thinking she should be like her father, and then Damon over here being like, "Don't be like Viserys." So it's hard. I get it, but I
Yeah.
agree that I feel like she should be meet the moment, be a little bit more Damon, be a little bit more assertive. Maybe Damon's, leaping ahead a little bit, like in their conversation when he's like, "We could just rule the whole effing world," and she's like, "Start here." I agree with her on that. She needed to start here. She couldn't just be like, "I'm just gonna fly all over and, like, do the stuff," because you
Right.
can't fly if you don't have, like, a base to fly out of. So,
But
King's Landing was gonna be her base.
starting here means, like, making peace here,
Yes,
and that
yes,
might
I agree with
require
all of that.
a heavy hand.
Yes, I agree with that, and I agree that, like, she should have gone after Tumbleton much earlier instead of, like, drawing it out and giving Ormond time to make really horrible, horrific plans. Plans that
Mhm.
involved, like, a lot of death and destruction and a lot more suffering for people. So,
Yep.
I am I am understanding her struggle, but I do think that Damon was right about a lot of things.
Mhm.
Not
Yep.
everything, but many things.
Yeah. Yeah, and it makes him by the time he gets to Tumbleton, like, he's so eager, you know?
Mhm.
He's like, "Now is the time. Now we" and,
Yeah, we can't let it go on any longer.
so, well, he's not interested at all in Gwen's deal, and, it's interesting he calls, uh the sea snake. I don't know why I can't remember his name. Uh, the
Corliss.
sea Corliss, a traitor. Which is
Mhm.
it flipped. He's such a, like, other than his sons, which he's come around on. He's such a sort of honorable guy, and he seems respected by those he commands and stuff. And so we see him at the end, like, despite him being made prisoner a bit ago, he's picking Damon up and saying, "Come on, the town's lost. We're getting out of here."
Mhm.
He's just not afraid of these younger guys and whatever. He's really confident in who he is, what he is, and the people that follow him, and all this sort of thing. So um, I do like him, and that's another thing that's really you know been another misstep. I think we talked a little bit about earlier in this was Rhaenyra's handling of
Totally.
his heirs
Totally.
and how she wouldn't. I feel like either the writers are thinking this or it's getting in Rhaenyra's head. I can see this though. People in power, they think that everyone is aware of them, all their goings ons, and like everything they say. They're waiting on bated breath because I'm so important. Obviously everyone knows
Right.
what
Everyone
I'm doing.
cares.
Yeah, everyone cares. It's not just about trying to eat that day, or do I have to cut off my son's leg because it's gotten too bad now, the disease, or like, no, what is Rhaenyra's family like right now?
Right.
Are they legitimate, and like, what will I do if I think they're not? Like, no one
Right.
gives a shit. The people that do will be other houses competing, like, oh, we can use this as an excuse to claim this or that or whatever. So when Corliss is trying to name some heirs and Rhaenyra does not give that to him, and we talked, I think that was maybe the last episode we covered before, and
Yep.
calling out that her sons are bastards. Um, yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what happens with him moving forward.
So yeah, so I want to touch on that quickly because I do think two things. One, Damon was right because he also was on the legitimize Alan and
Hmm.
Adam side. So a stronger case for Damon's logic there. Two, though, I also love Alan's absolute read of Corliss when Corliss is complaining about Rhaenyra not legitimizing his sons, and Alan is like, Oh, you mean the thing you couldn't do for 30 years?
Right. No, for
Like,
sure.
ooh,
Absolutely.
like, priceless. It was like, yes, I agree, she made the wrong choice, but also you gave her 5 minutes to make that choice, and you had 30 years to try to make it, buddy. Like, let's,
Yep.
like, climb down off the high horse.
Yep.
So,
Soon as the other
I
air
really
was
like
gone.
Ellen.
eh Okay, so let's talk about Alan. I like Alan too, except 2 things. Um,
If you say Bela, I will agree.
Bela. Where
Weird.
did that come from?
Weird, weird.
What I
Like, 0 fucking where. There were no
Yes.
building blocks, there were no steps, there were no, like,
There were
hints,
no
moments, nothing.
looks in the
No,
corridor,
no,
no,
no. I was
nothing.
expecting Adam. They've been spending all that time together riding dragons, sharing moments, like, having little bonding conversations. I would have bought that. I
Mhm.
totally would have bought that. They are also, like, I have no idea Alan's age, but, like, Adam and Bela are way closer in age. Whatever their ages are, they're
It seems
closer.
that way, yes. Mhm.
Alan looks like 45 and Bela looks 17.
Yes.
Do you know what like, the age gap
Yes.
there is huge. It is weird.
Mhm. Yep, I agree. And then it is apparently, you know, you're not the only one thinking that, where, you just said his name,
Adam?
n yeah, Adam. He's also thinking, "Oh, yeah, maybe we could have a thing." That was an awkward moment.
Just real
It's
awkward.
so,
Oh,
I don't
needlessly
I
awkward. That was
this
not
either
like
is a thing that was in the books that they did not have time, that they chose to not make time to set up,
yeah,
or it's not in the books and they just threw it in here. I have to imagine they have future plans,
I hope
but you
so.
gotta make it make sense.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
mm,
Address this in some way, even if it's just to, like, kill it, which I would be happy about.
even to
But
kill what?
you their relationship, like, the
Oh, okay.
story, the idea of
Mm,
them, if you're just gonna, like, address it down the line just to, like, put the kibosh on it, like, "That was an idea we had, and just kidding," that's fine, I don't care.
yeah.
You can get a mulligan on that storyline.
And then the other thing is, and like it's not, it makes him more interesting, I guess, but he's a guy that's been used to serving, and so it is interesting that he comes out and, he's had this built up, pent up anger towards his father. And it's like only now starting to voice
Mhm.
that and everything, but he's still used to following. Like he
Yep.
commands men, but he's the guy that's told what to do, and he's serving Rhaenyra,
Yeah.
and so he has to be the one to bloody his hands to kill the leader of the church.
Yep.
Yikes.
Yep. Yeah, I didn't love that moment. Um, yeah, Alan is the type of guy who is a solid second in command. He's not going to have groundbreaking ideas. He's
Right.
not he's not the overarching, plan master. He is a
Mhm.
very solid person who is honorable and clearly loyal and will, execute, pardon the
Yeah.
wordplay, execute the order faithfully.
Mhm.
I was a little surprised that he was the one to, like you said, bloody his hands against like the Septon.
Yeah.
Um,
But I
I
guess
mean,
when the gold cloaks are gone and
right?
the
Who else are you
Valerians
going
are
to turn
brought
to?
in, so
I didn't love the moment, and also I was kind of like, I don't know. The church isn't always right, you know. They were being weird about the coronation. They were all Aegon is risen and reborn. Like, I don't know.
but isn't he?
I mean, he is, but also, like, were they really thinking he was supposed to be legitimate in the first place? Like, if he was dead, why were if they all thought he was dead, why were they so reluctant to confirm Rhaenyra? Felt like some latent sexism going on there,
Well, could
and
be,
some political games for sure. And also, it's like I don't know. I think about like Game of Thrones, where the whole Sparrow Church was like a total cult show. So it's like, on the one hand, religion is respected, on the other, it can definitely be weaponized also. So,
Yeah. Well, I mean, I just think that it's so if you look at it from the church's perspective, whether they thought that Aegon was the real proper ruler and that, the seven have chosen him and all that sort of thing. Um, it's they made the call probably because that's the
right.
choice they saw at the time, the realistic one. And now they
Right.
made their choice.
They gotta stick
Sticking
with it.
with it, right, lends to their credibility.
Yeah.
And, it'd be like it'd be like God chose the Pharaoh, and then the next day the Pharaoh dies, and it's like, God chose this Pharaoh. Um, really? Did he? Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, it was a quick turnaround. I don't know. Did he make a mistake? God, he doesn't make a mistake. So,
Yeah.
um, and from her perspective, it's just like you have to let it be. Again, you're gonna have the certain people, the faithful, they take the religion very seriously, but she has the power, like resolve all this stuff, and they can come around. But you've made
Mhm.
them an enemy now, and it's just
Mhm.
one more thing, one more group of people to
Yeah.
turn against you then, and I don't
Yeah,
know.
I mean, I think of it less as she's made the church an enemy because they felt like an enemy beforehand, and I felt like that was confirmed when Ormond was like, "We basically, have the light of the 7 and we are the living embodiment of this whole religion," and he was talking about, having fingers in the church
Mm,
and stuff like that. So I was like, I really didn't feel that they were gonna be a help to her anyway. There was never gonna
sure.
be a time where they were
Yeah.
gonna come around to Rhaenyra. But I take the point about alienating the people who follow it, who follow the
Mhm.
church, because she's
Yep.
already made some missteps with the public. So this feels maybe a little unforced error. Um, though she kind of made up for it where she came out of the church and she was like, let me have this cool like time with Rhaenyra session.
Mhm.
Like let me tell you a story, kids.
Here's the story. I am destined to be here. Without me, you're all going to die to a horrible cold winter.
Right? I mean, she's
Your
gotta try
great,
something.
great, great grandchildren are done for.
She had to try something. She wasn't getting very far. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's a little
Yeah.
desperation move, but I mean, she's trying. She's trying to like plead her case to the people and see what happens. So
Mhm.
try
Mhm.
something, do something.
Okay, well, we gotta go over and talk about the greens. We gotta talk about, I mean, I guess I was talking about, Ormond and stuff, but,
Mhm.
the other side of this that,
Oh, yeah.
was declared dead, but is not dead. We have Aegon, and
Mhm.
this really went where I didn't expect. I mean,
Yeah.
like, firstly, horrible kid. Can't
Yeah.
blame him, but horrible kid. I mean, you can blame him now; he's an adult, but you can see how it got there.
Yeah.
And but he has this whole sort of like forced to kiss a boot and awful stuff on the path here. Trying to get away, trying to get
Yep.
across the sea and stuff. And
Laris gives him a whole fucking character read that is on point, where he's like, "You
yes,
suck. You've always
yes,
sucked. People do not like you. There is a reason. It's because you are a shitty person."
but it hits so many people. You'd say something like that, and it's just the dumb, but the hit, he like hears it,
Mhm.
you know, and you see sort of a change in
Yeah.
him then. Like, he's sort of oblivious. He'd never been told this before. It's like someone that's in Hollywood and, you have Christopher Nolan. No one's gonna say no to Christopher Nolan anymore. Hopefully he has some friends that do yet, that see him like a normal person and then do. But otherwise, you're surrounded by yes people, yes men left and right. And
Mhm.
so, you eventually someone tells you, no, you're wrong there. It's like, I haven't been told that in what are
Mhm.
you talking about? In years, how could yeah, and then maybe it hits or maybe you go further into it, like you're gone. Take him out of my sight.
Yeah.
Or, maybe you listen and this kid, it hit home. So what do you think of
Yeah.
his like turn here?
Yeah, I definitely think it had to be the right time and the right person because it's not like Aemond hadn't told Aegon he sucked forever, but he was
Well,
not the right
yeah.
person to say it.
Mhm.
But yeah, no, I enjoyed Aegon getting ground in the dust a bit because he's been one of those insufferable characters. It's like, all right, like I'm glad you're going through all of this. I'm glad you're taking some lumps. Did I want you to get like half burned to death? No, but the rest of it, cool.
Yeah.
Um but rising out of it, I gained some measure of respect for him. There was obviously a few different pieces driving his rise out of the dust, which one was revenge, straight up. He wants to go kill his brother for killing him and his dragon. Sidebar, very sweet moment between him and Sunfire. That was very sad.
Mhm.
Um, and two, I do think he took to heart like I haven't been acting like a king. And so he's trying to make some choices going forward that's like, what would a king act like? How would a king be? And some of them are very surface choices in, I would be brave and I would stand up against these, band of men coming to kill me and I want to be remembered as a king. That's a little surface. It's not like doing good deeds and being just and wise. But I'll take it because where he was before was so much crappier
Mhm.
than where he is now. He is trying to move forward.
Yeah. I, you know, it didn't have an effect on Ashley, I guess, but for me, I was all about it. I love a
Mhm.
redemption story, and we've had Cole, no redemption. We have
He
Ormond
didn't
is
deserve any.
not redemption to be found. Yeah, well, but um, Aegon, he's rubbing in dirt, like you say, real bad, and he's real disfigured. Stuff's rough, and he gives a good enough speech to inspire a Lannister who's not cut from the same cloth yet as Tywin, um, to stand with him to his death. The little bit of rousing speech he has here is because you say it's surface, which yes, it's not like but there's a grasping of a larger picture here.
Yeah.
If people can like, I would expect people in high office or positions of authority to in difficult times be like, I need to be remembered not this way. Like, I must be
Yeah.
remembered because that's something that lasts. That is something that means something that, when it goes down in the history books, I will not be the one that's dies running and stabbed in the back as like some lost, helpless kid. It's just not. And so I love that little realization. And you
Mhm.
think maybe he's going to turn, and he doesn't. He gives his speech to an army in front of him and draws a sword, and then his dragon's there. So it's
Mhm.
like this is the right amount of satisfying that I want from a show like this, because they take pleasure when this is done well with George R. R. Martin of like not letting you have the satisfying moments. That was part of what was so wrong with the finale end season of Game of Thrones. It's like, okay, of course, the Hound and the Mountain find each other and do battle, and really like these things where it's like implausible, whatever, just to make
Yeah.
the audience like have a moment there. It's stuff like what Game of Thrones does well is you have the Sir, whatever his name is, the Viper. dueling the mountain,
Mm, mhm.
and he's like,
And he
you've got
loses.
him," and then eyes gouged out.
Yep,
So
yep.
that's what this show gives. So, but you want occasionally a moment of like, yes, satisfying, redemptive, whatever. And so, if this is the returning of Aegon, I'm here for it. So, no, your hotspot was working so well, you froze. You look like you disagree. You're like, no, this is not.
Nope.
Nope, you're back. Okay, you're back.
Yep, yep. Just having more internet fun games.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, fun games.
Yep. All right. What was your last little bit of your point that I'm sorry that I missed?
Just that if this is the beginning of the turning of the redemption of Aegon, I'm all for it. Nah, I'm gonna blame Discord, I guess. Blame Discord because you're on your hotspot now, so it shouldn't be the Discord. Um, no, it's gone. All right, if Alan, if you want to throw up a picture, if possible, of Andrea, and then I'll just kind of keep going on the next topic here. So we have Aegon. We talked about. We have. Oh, Andrew's back.
Andrea's back.
You
Still
look very
having fun.
clear. Yep.
Still having
Mhm.
fun.
Okay. Well, I hope this is the beginning of a redemptive path for Aegon. He does
Yeah.
now go to Aemond, which we have not yet talked about.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if you're talking about satisfying moments and shows denying us that, they certainly denied Aegon his satisfying revenge moment
Mm,
because he did not meet a defiant, willful Aemond that he could just like do battle with. He met a contrite, sorry, woe is me Aemond who was like, I can't believe I committed or I tried to commit
yeah.
fratricide. And you know what I mean? Like he was totally just
Yeah.
chastened or chastened. And Aegon was like, this is no fun. I want revenge. I want to beat you up
Hmm.
in your prime. I want to smack you around. I want Sunfire to burn you up. He was like, I can't do any of that now.
Hmm.
So that to me was satisfying in
Yep.
its non-satisfying way.
Yep.
Because yes, I could see some redemption arc for Aegon, but I also don't want it to just happen. He's not earned, I think, a redemption of that level. You know
Okay.
what
Yeah.
I
He has.
mean?
He can't just. He has to keep showing that he's like. He has to have the continue to have these moments of pause. Like, how would a king act? How would I want to be remembered? Like, what am
Right.
I? What's the noble thing to do now? It's the strong thing to do now.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And it's not like Aemon just attacked him out of nowhere when he was being such a good brother, or a
Right.
good king.
No.
I mean, obviously, Aemon didn't have to burn him half to death, but also Aegon was not like some princely character who was just, charitable to those around him, including his brother. Um, so yeah, so their meeting was interesting. It's honestly the most interesting thing to happen to Aemon in a while because I'm super over this whole Harrenhal, Witch Alice, Maester Alice. Like, I don't know what's happening here. They're not doing a whole lot. Even though every episode it feels like there's some grand proclamation of like, we're gonna start our own dynasty. We're gonna reclaim some stuff. You and me, I'm gonna give you sons, and we're gonna create grand pronouncements, but their storyline is nothing. I
Right.
don't understand it at all. I don't understand why
Um.
she's interested in him. I don't know why he's interested in her.
Well, they revealed that she's like. Well, so
Super
first,
old.
yes. Firstly, I wrote. Oh, you're over 115 years old? So hot. Because clearly
Hats.
he's into the older ladies. Um,
Yep.
but she's like, you know, used to have, they're all like, who is this woman? But she used to have a title, and I don't remember what the name was, but she was important. She did have like, was the wife of the ruler of Harrenhal or something. And it makes sense why she's stuck around here, and she's kind of attuned to the ghosts and, familiar with it. I think it's cool. We just spend so much time sometimes. We did that last season. We complained about uh Damon and his like, when are you gonna do something? He was,
Mhm.
you know, waylaid at Harrenhal in stasis
Forever.
for far too long. Yes, and so we had kind of had the same sort of situation now here with Amond. And but so I think it makes sense. It's like, here comes someone that I can manipulate, young hot guy, into the older ladies. I can play that angle. I have dragon eggs. Wow. There you go. Dragon eggs. So we have something to build off of. And I used to run this place. I'm tired of like lurking in the shadows and being disrespected. So let's build this place up. This can be our base of operations. We're gonna have, hot witch Targaryen babies, and we're gonna raise these dragons. Sounds like a plan to me.
Yeah. I don't get it though.
I mean, you try being like 40 and single in this world, and then, a hot young guy comes marching in here with,
Who,
royal
like, doesn't
blood.
care
You
about
do
you
too.
though? Like, she
What?
she obviously can sense but he doesn't care about her. She can obviously sense that he's still got mommy issues the same way, like, she intimated that Damon had mommy issues. And she, like, half plays on that sometimes, like, "I'm maybe kind of like I look like your mom, I could maybe be your mom, who knows? Like, this could be hot." And then he she, like, half plays into it sometimes, then half the time she's like, "Oh god, you're such an idiot. All you want is your mommy," and she's frustrated by it. And then, you know, Aemond over here is like, "Well, I can't be with you because my Targaryen blood is like the best thing, and I can't be mixing and like Rhaenyra does." And then he's like, "Oh, just kidding. Maybe I will with you." So like, I don't I don't get all these like motive changes. I don't get how these people just suddenly decide to go for each other and help each other. I don't see why she wouldn't have just like kicked him out in the first place and just been like, I just want Harrenhal. I can do it my own self.
Well, maybe she thought there was an opportunity when Damon was there,
Hmm.
that we can, again, dragon eggs. You need a Targaryen, you know?
Right?
And
Well,
so when
give it
these
to Damon
Targaryens keep,
then.
right, but he was not having it.
But
He
he,
has
but
someone.
yes, but she could have definitely, I think, used those dragon eggs to barter something better out of Damon. Especially when he came out the other side and he was all like, "Thanks for the visions. I saw the cool prophecy. I know where my
Yeah.
place is. You helped me get there." Like, that was the moment to be like, "And also dragon eggs and
Maybe,
gimme Harrenhal." That was a moment. I think he totally would have been there at that moment.
maybe. But he's like fixed in his life. He knows who he is. He's confident. Aemond is basically a child, and he's
Ugh,
kind of at this
that's so
point a
gross.
broken
That's so
child.
gross.
And so
He's,
he's
like,
able to be
using her to
manipulated.
yeah, but he's, like, using her to replace his mommy issues, and she's using him to replace, like, her dead son, and they're gonna, like, be romantic about it. That is just, like, next level weird.
Well, yes, it is, but when we move on from that, Andrea,
I
the
know, I know. But yeah, I don't know, I didn't really get them. They also just
okay,
didn't do a whole lot, so they were some of my least favorite storyline. I still don't understand why
yeah,
she cared about, like, the other people and sent her, like, weird monster thing after them.
get out of my
There's n
castle.
Yeah.
Not my castle.
She's a cool character.
You're
I don't find, like, the writing to be very logical around her character.
hmm. I think she sees these men as the means to reclaim respect and position, and that's just, and
Maybe.
you know she can you know have children then with them and like restart. This is her opportunity,
Yeah.
other than like a whole bunch of people that are around there that like mistrust her. She's sort of the witch, stay away, whatever. And they just be commoners. I'm not,
Mhm.
to her, I'm not just some commoner. Like this is just her means to a path up,
Sure.
path back.
Yeah, I just feel like if we're going to talk about awesome female characters, like she has the potential to be one, but right now I want less of her on my screen and I want more of Lady Erin of the Vale. She is kick ass. She is awesome.
I wrote in
She
my
is like,
notes, I like this woman of the veil. I don't know her name, but
yes,
she,
yes. I don't remember what her first name is. I know she's an Erin, but yeah, she is awesome. She takes no shit. She's got snark. She can like go toe to toe. She's fun. She's
a
so secure in
couple,
her power too. She's very just like, I rule the veil. Thanks all.
yeah.
Enjoy my rule.
There's a couple impressive characters that are just fun when they're on screen, and they're I love watching competent people, you
Mhm.
know, and a couple cases that come to mind is her, and then the Tully kid, Oscar Tully.
Yes. Yes.
What a way to rise for him to rise to the occasion and like have a logical head on the shoulders, and like it's just
Mhm.
constantly been like impressive. Those two have been
Yeah.
impressive figures. So,
Stable, solid,
hmm
like very smart kid. Yeah.
hmm um,
Yeah. I see him as like a good foil for Darren. They're both
mm,
like smart kids who like clearly see the situations around them, including the adults around them. Obviously, Oscar's following somebody slightly more stable, even though we've all seen Damon do some questionable stuff. Like, he feels comfortable enough serving Damon, whereas
hmm
Darren's like, okay, I see clearly, and this guy is not stable. So what do I do about it? And he
yeah.
asks smart questions, which apparently he shouldn't. Ormond was like, don't ever ask me a smart question again. Don't ever beat me in a game.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, then he was angry about it, but he said, "Don't apologize for your victories" or whatever. So he did.
Yeah, that was such a lie though, right? Like, it was basically
Yeah.
like, don't apologize for your victories, but really don't have them in the first place.
hmm
Um,
Yeah.
and I think it was like a way for him to save face and be like, "Oh, I'm
Right.
still so magnanimous and I'm such a ruler that I would
hmm
tell this kid, give him the life advice of don't apologize." But yeah.
Yep. Um. Okay. What else have we not really talked about that we should? Kind of can pick at things for quite a while.
Oh
But if there's
gosh,
something
yeah.
that you haven't address that's important. One of the side plots here, an important character. We
Mm.
have what's her face? That's very sort of, I don't know what to think of her. But she's been sent away now. Her Rhaenyra's right hand woman,
Oh, Missaria. Yeah.
Massaria.
I'm at a peace by kind of situation.
Yeah,
I felt like she was trying to worm her way in as Rhaenyra's most trusted advisor, which I understand, but I kept feeling like you're doing this at the wrong time. You are
yeah.
undercutting Damon all the time and sowing doubt and trying to be this like leader. King's Landing is not effing settled. Rhaenyra's rule is not effing settled. Like, you should be greasing the wheels to make sure that this like ruler sticks before you try to start replacing other people. Because Damon was
hmm
absolutely chill with like letting bygones be bygones. for
Yeah.
the time being. So don't hold to that truce forever. I understand that, you don't feel he would let you alone, but just now is not the effing time. So I was cool with her when she left.
Yeah. Something with the kind of boldness. They get too bold too quick, and
Mhm.
it comes off as sort of desperate, or you just can't
Mhm.
bide your time. It's like you're not a master at this, like a Varys or a Littlefinger,
Yes.
where you
Yes.
just like you take lots of blows and lots of defeats, and you just like take
You
them with
you
grace
you
and
yep,
whatever. And
gotta
behind the
absorb it.
scenes, you have your other people
Yep.
working and stuff. It's not so direct,
Mhm.
and yeah. So, mm,
Um, so two we gotta I think we gotta close out touching on two other women here. Um, Helena,
right.
because she was a big part of these last, couple episodes. She refuses to leave King's Landing because she can't leave her children, and then we find out, she's got a baby on the way, which somehow magical time jump is Aegon's.
Okay.
Even though I don't know that the timing really made sense because I could not figure out how far she was along.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We Ashley and I were wondering that. Like, is this someone else's, or is it Aegon? Um,
They seem to hint that it's Aegon's, or like at least Alicent is like, "Oh man, I think this is Aegon's," and so Rhaenyra is going to be crazy that there's this other potential heir out there.
yeah.
But it didn't feel like it would line up timing wise.
I don't know. Really, I'm lost on that, so I don't know.
Yep. Okay,
I
I'm
guess I just
glad that
go with
someone
it.
else felt a little
Yeah.
like, "Huh,
Yeah.
okay."
We were definitely just like, how much time has passed? And so
Right?
it brought it into
Right?
question.
Yes.
Um, hmm. Yeah, I've seen some stuff online about this a little bit now, and some other people unhappy about it. I don't know if I think I wrote in my notes. Yeah, so much for caring about your child, because it kind of really
Yeah.
respected her for this element, because she had her mom, Alicent, really pressuring her to end this. Like, you're not going to be safe or free. Your child's not going to be safe or free. It's going to be used against you. All this sorts of thing. And she just is like, I've already lost a kid, and I'm not doing this. And so I liked that. And then she refused to eat, and then she kills herself. So on one hand, it's kind of like, well, I've never really understood this character. But on the
Yes.
other hand,
She's
it's
so
like,
troubled.
yeah, maybe the show needs to get me to understand her some. Like, I need to,
Mhm.
because otherwise you can just have her do anything, and I have to just accept it. Um, so I don't know. I didn't love this, and especially now
Mhm.
that word is spreading that her husband would be alive, the father of her
Right?
child. Like, there is hope. There
Right.
is, and not that you want to see him again necessarily, but things could
Yeah.
change. Is
I
the
don't I
point,
don't need to see him on the throne.
you know. So I don't know. Like, there, your fate is sealed if you end your life.
Yeah.
Your fate is open, if you don't. So.
Yeah. And I got that she was tormented by the dreaming sometimes, and she felt pressured
Mhm.
by Rhaenyra, in these last few episodes, especially to like use her gift in some way, and it was like
Yeah.
horrible for her to do so. I got that. But I needed more before we jumped to her jumping out of a window. Do you know
Mhm.
what I mean? Like, because
Yeah.
like you said, she was so committed to her kids. She couldn't even believe that Allison would try to make her, like, trick her into trying to leave King's Landing without her child. She wouldn't go. She wouldn't end the pregnancy, even though Allison gave some very compelling reasons for doing so that logically I understand, even though I respected Helena emotionally for making her choice. to say no, like you said, I can't lose another child. And then it just seemed like this ultimate abandonment of her child, plus killing
The
the
one
child that
that's
was
a lot. Yeah, right.
yeah,
Yes,
you know
both.
what I mean? Like, it was both. It was both.
Mhm.
She abandoned her living child, and then she took the child inside her with her, and I didn't understand. I felt like I was just getting to the tip of an iceberg in understanding about how she was tormented by the dreaming, and I needed more of that before I would have understood even a fraction
Yeah.
of this choice.
She's lived with that for forever, and, like,
Mhm.
yes, Rhaenyra showed very little tact in trying to,
Mhm.
like, get some of that.
Weird.
Yeah, it's like, "Oh, sister, like, how's it going? You have any cool dreams recently?" And
Do I look good in these dreams? What
yeah.
up?
To then, like, "You will tell me I can compel you
Yeah.
as your queen,"
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Coming in hot.
yeah. Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, I found that difficult. I
Thumbs
mean,
down.
yeah, I didn't love that storyline. And to move then to her mom, Alicent, I her storyline made sense. I didn't love it all, but it made sense. She did the thing. She got to Harrenhal. You know,
She didn't confirm the kill.
she didn't confirm the kill. Double tap, girl.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, I got her storyline everywhere it went and why it happened, how she was able to do it. I mean, Aemond was a little trusting, but his mom, so I get it. He had mommy
Yeah.
issues.
Yeah.
And yeah, now I'm just sort of like, where is she gonna go? What is she gonna do?
I don't
That'll
know.
be interesting because they just let her
Yeah.
like slip out of Harrenhal after failing to kill Aemond. I felt like he is going to forgive her ish because admitted to her that he killed Aegon. And so,
Well, he's still guilty about it. Yeah, maybe.
right, like he's gonna feel nice and guilty about it and be like, I understood
Especially
why
if
you
he's
tried to do
secure
it.
in a marriage with Alice
Yep.
and
Yep.
child on the way and dragon eggs hatching. He's like,
Yep.
whatever.
Whatever, mom.
Mhm. I got a new mom, wife,
Yeah. I got a
lady.
new mom wife. Oh god. Ew. But it does feel like with Aegon maybe rising, with Helena dead under Rhaenyra's watch, Alicent is going to become some sort of secret threat, or at least try to, against Rhaenyra.
Maybe. I feel like she's just in a position to say peace out. Just gone.
I mean, I would understand. She's gone
Yeah.
through quite a bit. Um,
Mhm.
but yeah, it feels like maybe she could be some sort of piece on the board to
Mhm.
try something. All this to say, Rhaenyra's troubles are not going away next season.
No. Nope. I have plenty of little just sort of nitpicks, I guess, that we don't need to spend time on. But that is the question is where are we going from here?
Mhm.
My thought is like, okay, is you know, Aegon gonna show up with his dragon to Tumbleton and it's mostly burnt down and the
Mhm.
armies have departed and what? I don't know
Mhm.
what's gonna happen there. Or does he surprise them, an army in retreat, a damaged
Right?
army coming back home, and now they're attacked by a dragon in open field?
Right?
They don't have the defenses to deal with that.
Clearly not, as we saw Ulf just like tear a new one through the army that he both hurt and helped.
Yes, he really just chaos. He's an
Yeah.
element of chaos at this point. So,
Oh, he is an element of chaos that can leave my chessboard of pieces. Like, bye.
mhm,
I'm done with Ulf. I'm not as
mhm.
done with him as I was with Kristen Cole, but still, like, we're getting close, buddy.
What a fitting end to Ormond, though. So that's the,
Oh,
like, the fantasy is, it's like fitting into Ormond and then, like, kind of cool end to our Viking Stark Northerner guy, you
I
know?
loved him so much. Oh, I'm gonna miss him. I'm gonna miss him. I really
Mm.
enjoyed that he was just like, hack off my arm. I don't care. You're still
Yeah.
going down.
Yep.
Like I'll shoot my blood in your eye because I know you're grossed out by it. So good.
Yep.
Oh,
Mhm.
he was a fun one.
Yep. No,
Yeah, if you want to
it's
be
good to have that
remembered,
energy.
if you want to be remembered, take notes. That's how you go down.
Mhm. Yep. Yep. That's true. So, yeah, I really don't know where it's going. I have the book behind me now. Like I say, I'm wondering if I should read it before the next
Sure.
season. Uh, it looks like possibly. I mean, it sounds like a lot has changed. I'm very curious of what has changed.
Mhm.
Um, Here it is.
There we
Um,
are.
so I've never read anything by George R. R. Martin. So,
That's right.
ooh,
I forget you
nice
hadn't
art.
read any of the GOT books. Nice.
Yeah. I also bought A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. I have that
Oh,
book too.
nice.
So now,
Sure.
because it's like I can read the things that are basically done. Now, to my understanding, there is a thing that there is another short story or whatever on the way, supposedly for Night of the Seven Kingdoms. But it sounds like it's enjoyable and complete and whatever, by itself.
Mhm.
So if it
Sure.
happens to you another one, great. But this is done self-contained, so I could read it and
Yeah.
see
I was gonna
if I'm
say,
itching for more medieval fantasy now that the
yeah.
season's done.
Don't count on fricking anything.
No. Mm-mm. Okay, so the season overall, did you enjoy it? Did it stack up well to seasons 1 and 2? And
Mhm.
then, yeah, are you looking forward to season 4?
Yeah, I mean, I still am gonna probably give the not surprising opinion and probably not often disagreed with opinion that season 1 has been the best one so far. This season started off so strong, and I think the second half of it faltered, got a little shaky. Um, and I think I need next season to for it to improve. I think it needs to give me a little bit more stability in character choices. There were some that felt really off and random, and I wanted a little more consistency. I do also think that like I know it's not the thing that we need to do often, and it's not Game of Thrones and Hot D style, but I think I need Rhaenyra to have a win. Just
Mm,
to, like, break up all the horrible things. And I need Rhaenyra to feel the win, not just like Daemon feels the win,
sure.
like he defeated, the army at Tumbleton. I think I need Rhaenyra to have, like, just, like, a brief moment of security for her
Okay.
character's sake.
Sure. All right. The question of stability and choices and character and stuff, that's what comes from show writers thinking they know better than the author that toiled and spent a lot of time figuring out those choices and like living those characters and whatever. When you just come from the outside and like, we could maybe move this around, move that around, and then all of a sudden things get messy. It's the exact same thing I'm
Yeah.
worried about with Dune, and it's just like
Yep.
I'm enjoying this show much more than I think I probably would be if I had already read this book. And so like
Agreed.
I think that I agree season 1 was probably the best. Some traumatic things, but they handled the like age jump really well, that sort of
Mhm.
thing. Season 2 I thought was good as well. It just maybe not paced quite as
Yes.
nicely. Season 3 now, I mean, starts off with a bang, and overall I really enjoyed every episode. I didn't
Mhm.
have any episode that was like, that was it. There was none of those. So I really
Yeah.
have enjoyed it. there's just are some of those moments like, right, would a person do this? Why are they doing
Mhm.
that? I
Mhm.
don't know. It's a little, and the big ones are um really, what we already talked about, really with Helena, it's probably
Yeah.
the worst offender. And
Yes.
then with like small stuff like a relationship out of nowhere with Alan, and then just like kind of spending time with like um Damon's kid that's just make up your
Mhm.
mind, go away, you're causing problems. Just some of these frustrations, wasting a little bit too much time in Heron Hall with Alice, and um, you know, some complaints there. But overall, I really,
Yeah.
I really have enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to what comes next. And we'll see if I really change my tune after I read. What do you think? Should I read this before season 4, or should I
Is season
let
4 the
let
last
myself?
season?
I don't think so. I
I
don't think
I
so.
mean, okay, because if it's the last season, then I would say no. Because what
Just
would be
wait.
the like, right? Why frustrate yourself before the last season? But if we're gonna have, like, 2 more or even 3 more, then yeah, go ahead, read it.
Hmm.
Let's see.
Okay. Yeah. I
Let
don't
me
know.
see. I'm gonna look up final season of House of the
Definitely is some
Dragon.
good art in here. I saw a little breakdown of like,
It will officially conclude with its 4th season.
oh, okay. Well, I guess this book will sit and collect dust then.
Yep. Yeah, I say wait until the 4th season. I mean, also we
Just
could
enjoy the
gauge on,
show
like,
for what it is.
yeah, we could gauge on, like, how long it takes for the 4th season to come out. So I don't really know if it's gonna be, several years or something. So you could
Right.
also gauge it on that. But yeah, if it's a reasonable time frame, I would wait.
Okay. Fair enough. Okay, Andrea. Well, another season of House of the Dragon in the
Yes.
books wrapped up just in
Like,
time for
went so
Renfest to
fast.
start. It did. Um, yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do now for my, medieval fix.
I know,
'Cause
I
I
know.
know a lot of people that always want to play D&D. I'm like, but guys, it's so demanding. It's like,
It's so much
if
work.
someone wants to run it, I'm there. But for me to run it, it's just like that has to, with my schedule as it is, that has to be the thing
Right.
that I do as an extracurricular thing,
Yep.
because just I'm not okay now with my world just winging it too much. I got to have enough set in place and whatever. So I don't know. I can always start actually for shows. I don't know. Did you ever watch Loki season 2? This is not obviously fantasy, medieval, or anything, but did you watch season 2 of Loki?
I know that I started it, but I cannot tell you with certainty if I finished it.
Okay. Well, in preparation for Doomsday, there's a fair chance that Ashley and I watch season 2 of Loki, because supposedly
Mm,
it's one of the more important things to watch,
okay.
just to understand where Loki's at and what he's doing
Sure.
before moving into Doomsday.
Sure. I'll
So,
have to go back and see if I did or didn't.
okay.
It's I mean, it's been a minute, so I know that we started it, I just can't remember if we finished it.
Yeah. I didn't start it because, the overall quality of so many things were going downhill, and my
Mhm.
issue with season 1 of Loki was not that it wasn't a good show, but that Loki didn't seem like Loki. I remember that being my critique. Like, the
Mm,
show would be really
yes.
good if it
Mhm.
just didn't have anything to do with Loki, because it just
Yeah.
doesn't. It's not him anymore.
It didn't match. Yeah,
Yeah.
what y
So,
yeah.
but you know, I
Mm.
I can give the second season. It's not that many episodes, I don't think. So
No.
that's something I'm looking at here. We're kind of prepping for Doomsday stuff. I'm already set up
Mhm.
for Dune. The big movie's come out this year yet,
Mm,
and
sure. We gotta finish
hmm,
X-Men '97.
Yep. Yep. Um, yeah, I don't know when we want to talk about that next, but sooner rather than later be good, especially being Phil kind of can't make any sort of podcast for the anime stuff. I think might as well just finish up X-Men soon and then we'll have to
Go
hit
anime adjacent.
yeah, then we'll have to get into anime proper, maybe watch the Demon Slayer movie for next week or something. So
Yeah, indeed. Yep, I haven't watched that yet, so I was waiting till closer to our whatever discussion we plan.
yeah. Okay, well that'll be it from us. That's Popcast on the
Mhm.
Rocks. Thank you to everyone for watching, listening. Again, we go live on YouTube, X, Rumble, Twitch, all those places, so you can follow us anywhere. We're also on podcast directories, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and several others. So feel free to follow us there, leave a review, all that sort of thing.
Mhm.
Killing the Flower, they wrote our theme song, Killing the Flower. So you can find them on music streaming services and YouTube. Um, Mike Bryant Racing.
Mhm.
He is watching X-Men 97 now. He's powered through season
Yes.
one. He's started season two. So I'm hoping he can get all the way done to have a big X-Men episode with us here coming up
Yes.
soon.
Love it.
Um, he has very little familiarity with X-Men. So it'd be good getting
Oh, that'd
his
be fun.
perspective then. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And we can kind of go maybe in the same episode, go over some of the casting news that have come out of D23 for the
Yes.
upcoming
Mhm.
X-Men movie. Um, let's see, Peter J.
Mhm.
Gilbertson on Amazon. Check out his books. And then, yeah. Oh yeah, there's one more. I was gonna do Chief Bourbon
Oh, right,
on
the cabinet.
Instagram. Yeah, Chief Bourbon Cabinet on Instagram. So check him out. Think that about do it from us. So technical issues abound. We made it through. We're to the end,
Still
and
here.
this was a big episode. There's a lot. We do not normally cover this many episodes of a show like this
Mhm.
in one sitting. So I think it went pretty well considering. And yeah,
Yeah,
thanks for being here, Andrea. And thanks for technical directing, Alan. Yeah,
we
we'll see you
appreciate
next
you.
time. Yeah.
As always, cheers, everybody. We made it to the moment of Kristen Cole's glorious end. Everybody drink.